Basketball is a game of moments, and sometimes one moment can destroy everything. From brain-dead decisions to unthinkable blunders, these are the times when players did something so stupid, so unbelievably careless, it literally cost their team the game.
Look for Sleepy Floyd. Look. Oh, he threw it to the wrong man.
On December 18, 2013, Carmelo Anthony misses a jump shot with just under 20 seconds remaining. The shot clock was running down, so of course he had to shoot the ball. But with the Knicks then getting the rebound afterwards, as well as being up by 2, they could have either ran out the clock or waited for the Bucks to foul, putting them at the line. But instead, Andrea Bargnani decided to put up a shot.
Offensive rebound, Chandler to Bargnani. What is he doing? What is he doing, folks? Why would he shoot the ball? Why?
The Knick bench absolutely stunned. They basically had it set up for free throws and a chance to ice the game. And Bargnani, for reasons only known to him, took the three.
This allowed the Bucks to send the game into double overtime, where the Knicks actually held on to win, believe it or not. After the game, head coach Mike Woodson said that Bargnani might have thought they were down, and that he had to have had something else going through his mind at the time. How ironic that it was J.R. Smith of all people who was mad at him for not knowing the time and score. You're probably thinking I'm referring to what happened in 2018, but it didn't need to take a whole 5 years for this to not age well for him. Only a couple weeks needed to go by for JR to become a hypocrite. In a tied game against the Rockets, the Knicks got an offensive rebound and could have held for the final shot, as they didn't have to worry about the shot clock anymore at that point. But Smith immediately hoisted a three-pointer.
And Tyson Chandler with a rebound. Smith puts up a three. He misses. No. And Brooks is fouled.
If J.R. Smith holds up, the Knicks can wait for the last shot of the game.
What was he doing?
I don't know. He wasn't thinking.
There's where J.R. Smith, he had a wide open look, but he could have held the ball and got the last shot. Remember several weeks ago when Bargnani did the same thing.
Unlike in 2018, he should have held the ball in this situation. Apparently, he thought they were down by 2 when he took that shot. The Knicks would go on to lose the game. Here's another example of a situation where J.R. Smith should have just held the ball. In a series-closing game against the Indiana Pacers in the 2017 NBA playoffs, the ball ended up in Smith's hands with the Cavaliers up by 3 with only about 10 seconds left. He could have simply held the ball, but instead tried throwing a behind-the-back pass.
Man game. Oh, and George slipped, and they'll lose possession. They get it back, though, miraculously. 6 to go. Trying to get free. George for the tie. Missed everything.
Luckily for Smith, Paul George missed the shot that would have tied the game, narrowly escaping with the victory. On Christmas Day 1994, Steve Kerr almost cost his team the game. The Bulls were up by 3 with only about 3 seconds left. Anthony Mason threw the ball as far as he could in hopes that one of his Knicks teammates would catch it and hit a 3, which did happen, but it was with the help of Steve Kerr.
Lead by 3. Now the Knicks lead the long pass and a three-point attempt, but Kerr slaps away Davis for 3. Yes! Hubert Davis has tied the game with 4/10 of a second remaining.
Steve Kerr, all he has to do is catch this ball, but instead he decides to slap it and right into the hands of the open Hubert Davis as Steve Kerr puts his hands on his head.
He even could have simply let it go out of bounds. Fortunately, the Bulls still ended up winning the game, thanks to Scottie Pippen, who scored all of Chicago's points in overtime, saving Steve Kerr from his gaffe. But Michael Ruffin wasn't so lucky. His Wizards also had a 3-point lead with just 3 seconds remaining, and just like Kerr, was able to alter the Raptors' desperation pass. He actually made the extra effort to go after the ball after he tapped it, something that Steve Kerr didn't bother to do. But what he chose to do with the ball after he grabbed it ended up being just as bad.
And no! Not possible! Not possible! How did that happen?
He thought he threw the ball up in the air just high enough for the clock to expire, but he left just enough time for Morris Peterson to catch it and drill a 3. Oh, and by the way, the Raptors would win in overtime. Now again, it is possible to hold the ball for too long as well.
He'll double clutch, back it up, in and out. DJ, shoot the ball.
In Game 4 of the 1984 Western Conference semifinals between the Mavericks and Lakers, Derek Harper dribbled out the final seconds of the game, not realizing that it was actually a tied ball game. In his head, he thought they were up. Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
They bring it down to the last shot. They don't want to give the Lakers a trip. Lakers don't want to foul. 2 seconds. Time to run out. Regulation has ended. Derek Harper didn't know how much time was left on the clock. We're headed for overtime in Dallas.
I tell you what happened, Brett. Harper thought they were leading the game by 1 point.
What's funny is you can see him start to celebrate after the buzzer sounded, believing that his team had just won the game, and must have felt extremely stupid when his teammates told him what he actually did. The Mavs would go on to lose in overtime. He had an opportunity to tie the series at 2 games apiece, but instead went down 3 games to 1 as a result, and ultimately lost the series in 5 games.
Well, after that particular play, I don't think people expected to hear from Derek Harper again. I think they expected me to jump off of Sears Tower or something, just go crazy, you know what I mean? But
I think it's safe to say that he was eventually forgiven. On March 6, 2013, the Lakers were up by 2 against the Hornets with 25 seconds remaining. With the Lakers inbounding the ball, the Hornets needed to either steal the inbounds pass or foul, but for some reason, they seem to have forgotten which basket was theirs.
What a defensive foul! Slam dunk by Bryant!
I really think that when the Lakers didn't advance the ball, took it out where they took it out, it confused the defense. They started playing on the underneath side as if they were on their defensive end.
Completely fooling New Orleans.
Why are you on the underneath side?
Keep in mind, the Lakers have been using that basket the entire second half, but for some reason, the Hornets set up to defend the other basket. This is particularly embarrassing because it required an entire team to have a mental lapse. The Lakers actually trailed by as many as 25 points earlier in the game, but managed to crawl their way back by finishing the game on a 20-0 run. Believe it or not, the Warriors got an even easier bucket 2 years ago.
Okay, what is going on? Dallas decided not to guard their own basket.
I want you to watch the referee under the basket. After this shot, the referee appears to signal Warriors ball. But here's what made things confusing. That same referee immediately signaled for a Mavericks timeout right after that, making Kevon Looney think that they were changing the call to Mavericks ball. But in reality, it's just that the referee went from calling it Warriors ball to then immediately acknowledging that the Mavericks called a timeout, which I guess also made the Mavericks believe that it was their ball. But that's not what Mark Cuban said happened.